And I wish we could change like to connect. It just doesn't have the same flow, but they have to feel connected with you in some way.
Hey, welcome to the show, Kendra.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
I know I have so much fun enjoying your content, and your content tells me a lot that I can trust you. Like, I feel like I know you, even though, we don't really know each other in person. So that's why we're here to talk about the know, like, trust factor, which is so important no matter what stage you are in your business, right?
Absolutely. I always say it's the foundation, like the foundational pillars of a really strong business.
So let's start with the first part. So there's actually three parts to this, right? So the first part is to know people or to get known online.
Yeah. So sadly, this is a part a lot of people like don't put enough time and energy into. We think that we are sharing about our business all the time. We're like, oh, people are tired of hearing of us. But really, we aren't sharing it enough. It's the biggest issue I see a lot of, especially early entrepreneurs doing, is they feel like if I post it one time on social media, that's me like shouting it out to the world. Or I've built this beautiful website. Now I just need people to come. And so you're not putting yourself out there enough for people to know who you are and what your business does. And if you don't have people who know who you are or what you do or what you offer, then they can't build the like or the trust piece that comes after this because they don't even know you exist. And I always tell a really perfect example was before I left my teaching job to do my business full time, I was doing photography on the side. And specifically, I was doing senior portraits, high school seniors. And I worked in a building with like 36 other women. I'm in this teacher's lounge one day. This lady's talking about how they had her daughter as a senior. They'd hired this photographer to do senior pictures. She wasn't really loving the photos. And I was like, well, I'd be happy to do them for you. Like, that's what I do. And she's like, wait, what? She had no clue. This person who I literally had worked with for 3 years, like 4 doors down from my classroom for 3 or 4 years, and had no clue that I was a photographer, much less a senior portrait photographer. So that was an eye-opening moment for me that I was like, oh, I think that everybody knows what I do and what I offer and that I'm putting myself out there when really like it's just the tip of the iceberg. Like there's so much more I could be doing for people to really know who I am.
I really resonate with that because we get sick and tired of our own content way before anyone else even notice that what
Yeah.
you do, right? Like I have Lucy Liu Life Coach on literally every platform, everything that I do. Like I make it so obvious what I do, yet I still get asked question, Lucy, what do you do?
Yeah.
Because people are bombarded with information. They're so distracted in their everyday life. No matter how obvious you make it, people still miss it.
Yeah. And we like to think that everybody is just like, oh, let me keep an eye on what Kendra's doing right now or what Lucy's doing. But honestly, like nobody's paying that close attention to us as much as we would like to think that we're the center of everybody's world. So you have to be put like when you think you've reached the point of, okay, I've just exhausted every person around me in my circle of everything on social media, then post like 5 more times or put it out there 5 more times because I promise you, you're not annoying people as much as you think you are.
Yeah, I love that. So that's the get to know part. Let people know you, stop worrying, stop overthinking, right?
Yeah.
Don't worry what you're talking about. But of course, you have to create the right content.
Yes. Yeah. And so this kind of leads into a little bit of like the little like piece is once they know who you are, like that's the first thing is like, what's that saying? It's like knowledge is the first step or admitting that you have something as the first step. And then beyond that, it can't just be that they know who you are. They have to also then have a connection with you. And I wish we could change like to connect. It just doesn't have the same flow, but they have to feel connected with you in some way. And so that is done through your content. It is done through what is it you're putting out there into the world that they can then like kind of latch onto. And so if you're not creating content, or you're not creating content consistently enough that people are seeing it, it's popping up in their feed, or it's in their inbox, or it's on their radar, getting notifications of new blog posts and things like that, then they don't have anything to connect with it, and they're not going to go seek it out. That's the thing, is we all think like, well, oh, it's on my website, or oh, it's on my Instagram page, but they're not going to go seek that out. You have to put it in front of them, and you have to make it so that you are making your audience the primary like focus of your content. It's not, look at what I can do, look at how great my stuff is, look at how wonderful I am. It's, let me help you. Let me solve this problem for you. And that's what's going to make them go, oh, okay, I know who Lucy is, and now I really like her and connect with her. And that connection is, and that bond is so much stronger.
Yes, and everyone has their unique voice. So just be authentic, just be who you are, be real, and tell your story. I think back in the days, I thought I had no story to tell. Like, oh my God, everyone's telling all these beautiful stories of major transformations. And it wasn't like that for me. But
Yeah.
you know what? It was these small aha moments, small lessons I learned along the way that added up to major transformation. So it doesn't have to be something traumatic. It doesn't have
Yeah.
to be a certain way. There's no right or wrong answer here. Just be nice, be relevant, just get yourself out there and tell your story, and someone's going to resonate, because no matter where you come from, someone's going to come from the same background. Someone's going to have similar journeys to you that will resonate with you.
Well, and on that same point, like, I think that's a really valid point, is that we all think that our lives aren't interesting. We're like, well, why would anybody want to know about me? Why would anyone want to, like, why would they care about my life? But when you think about, like, we get really invested in like the most random people's lives. I mean, just go to like TLC on any network and be like, okay, if these people have a TV show that people want to watch and they're crazy, then like, of course, my story can be interesting too. And I also think that like there are pieces of our personalities and pieces of our lives that we're blind to. And so I think it's really helpful to like have people in your life that you can go to and say, like, what is it about me that is interesting to you? Because sometimes it takes other people pointing things out to us that we don't even realize, because it's just, it feels so normal to us because it's our life. But other people looking in from the outside might see it as like a superpower or something really cool that helps them. So looking to outside people that you trust to go, tell me what it is about like my life or my story that is appealing to you, and then leaning into that.
Yeah, beautifully said. And I think in order to be likable, put your face to your name. I get
Absolutely.
like, if I get a follow on Instagram and I check out the account, is full of graphics. It could be beautiful. It could be full of quotes, but I can tell that those are just standard Canva templates without a single face on any of the photo. It's really hard for me to connect and feel that personal connection to an actual person.
Yeah. I always say people follow, or people, connect with people, not stock photos or logos. I mean, you don't ever hear someone go, oh my gosh, that stock photo from Canva really spoke to me. Like, that doesn't happen. And I've had a friend who started an online boutique, and she was adamant, I'm not putting my face out there. This is like, I'm separating myself. Like, I'm the business, but I'm separating myself. I don't want to be the face of it. Her photo was a logo. She had all stock photos where it was just like neck and body for clothing and stuff. And her business failed after 2 years. She couldn't maintain it because there was no personal connection. Nobody had a reason to buy her clothes over somebody else's, because they didn't feel like there was a person behind the brand. It was just like these mannequins of clothes, and that's not appealing to people anymore.
Yeah, just not in today's age.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Let's transition into trust. Building trust with your audience is incredibly important. And for me, the trust factor is I get that feeling of trust when I see an influencer or a major thought leader admit to their failure or mistake. Like I'm a person who will openly apologize or speak about my mistakes. How do you feel?
Oh yeah, I think transparency and authenticity, I know those are kind of buzzwords that get thrown around, but they're really important. And I think when it comes to trust, people have to know that you are going to live up to what you say that you're going to do. So that's part of it. And then you have to be human. You have to be able to say, like, oh, that didn't work, or I failed at this, or I made this mistake, and then come back from it and learn from it. And you also have to be open to the opposite of that, of being like, this has gone really well, or this is something I didn't expect in my business, or these are the things that have, that I've seen success in. And then beyond that, I also think that when it comes to building trust, there has to be communication. So, one of the things I always try to do is open lines of communication with my audience. I always want people to feel like that they can message me on Instagram, they can reply to my emails, when I send out my to my email list, they can send me messages on Facebook, wherever they need to get in touch with me. They have these places that they can like connect with me. And I think that helps people to feel like, oh, okay, this isn't just like her being the face and she has like some random team member answering my messages. I will go and, like, if someone sends me a DM, I will send them a voice message back so they know that it's me actually talking to them. It's not, just like some VA on the other side of the world that I've hired. And I think that builds trust. I also think that when you live up to what you say you're going to do. So if you're like, I'm going to show up and I'm going to do Instagram lives once a week, you show up and you do that Instagram live once a week. And it's little things like that that don't seem like that big of a deal, but it builds trust with your audience because they're like, oh, okay, well, she's told me she's going to be here every Thursday and show up live. And she's been here every Thursday showing up live. So that's just a little piece to her character that shows that if she says it, she's going to do it. So when I decide to work with her, if she says she's going to do something, I now trust that she's going to do that. So there's these little bitty pieces that all fit together to make this larger puzzle of building trust. It's not just one thing of like, I'm going to put a bunch of references and testimonials on my website, and that's trust. It has to be these little bitty things you're doing on a regular basis.
Absolutely. And you got to be careful with some VAs, though. I've had experiences where the DMs are just not being answered because you can tell the person who owns the account is not managing it.
Yeah.
Or you can just tell it's a VA because they're saying things like they're responding to questions you've already told them previously, or you can just tell that it's not the person. So
Yeah.
that makes it really untrustworthy to make that investment, especially if sometimes you're even ready to invest and that just kills the sale.
Yeah. I mean, every piece of your business is an extension of you, and you have to have confidence in the people that you hire, the people you work with. Or if you're trying to do this on your own, you need to have systems in place and automations in place that are gonna feel like it's you, if even when it's not you.
Yep. And allow your audience to choose when to work with you in your own in their own timeline. It could be a day, a week, or even 2 years. And
Yeah.
just respect that. And they will come to you at the right time when they're ready. And you don't have to be chasing. You don't want to be
Yeah.
the sleazy salesperson that, I mean, you're selling because you want to serve, but that desperate energy can be felt. So just
Oh,
really be
absolutely.
careful the energy you're putting into your content to build that trust factor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Beautiful. So in your day running your business, is there a quote that you go by?
So I have a lot. I mean, we were saying before, like I actually have like a whole folder on my computer of favorite quotes, but I absolutely love Brene Brown. And this is a quote that I feel like is really fitting to our conversation today that I absolutely love. And it says, "What we know matters, but who we are matters more." And I think that's such a perfect quote for the know, like, and trust factor because you can have all the knowledge in the world, but if you are not connecting with your audience on a deeper level, then your knowledge compared to someone else's knowledge who has those connections, that connection's going to win out every single time.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love her as well. Thank you so much. Where can
Thank
we find
you.
you?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at Girl Means Business. And I would love to chat with anybody listening that has questions or wants to reach out. Feel free to send me a DM. And then you can head over to girlmeansbusiness.com. That's kind of my home base. You can find my podcast. I've got tons of resources over there. So you can find tons of information there.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.